said recording stopped.
Good afternoon, everybody, for our Tuesday social. Today, it's a special day. We have a special guest here, Officer Gaurisha Sardana. And thanks to Shivdas, who brought her in our group. And she's going to give us safety for seniors, tips for all of us. I think the tips are for everybody, not just the seniors. Okay, Shivdas, you go ahead and introduce her, please.
Yeah, thank you, Shanta. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the social Sache Group's social this afternoon. On behalf of Sache Group and all the people present here, I want to extend a warm welcome to Officer Gaurisha Sardana to this afternoon, social afternoon, and thanks to her for kindly agreeing to give this presentation on a very valuable subject, crime prevention tips and safety at home, particularly for seniors. And as Shanta said, it's not only for seniors, it's for all the age groups. So welcome, Officer Gaurisha Sardana. Thank you so much again. Officer Sardana is a correctional officer working for Ontario Public Services, and she works at the maximum security prison where the male offenders are housed, and she is responsible for care and custody of these offenders. She's also working for the rehabilitation department for the last 3 years, and she's giving all the educational lessons to the inmates on various life skills such as stress management, anger management, goal setting, and anti-criminal thinking. So she's playing many roles. Now I have to make a list of what she is doing. So she's also volunteering for various institutions or the organization, I would say, like Panorama and the other the organizations. And she gives the lessons to the inmates on the life skills, like I told you. And she is also handling the post-traumatic stress disorder patients who are suffering from stress, and where she is giving all the tips to them, guides them, advises them. She is also, besides all this, she also, off the field, she writes poems, and she has recently published her first book in September 22, and she is going ahead with her second book. Yes, and I just forgot to mention that she works for helps the chaplaincy department of that same place where she works, where she replaces the Hindu priests, giving all the preaching on the Hindu religion, various things on Hindu religion. So it's a big list for Gaurisha, and I really wonder how she can find time to do all that. Nevertheless, we are very, very thankful and grateful to you, Gaurisha, coming this afternoon. And finally, I want to, on behalf of everyone here, I want to thank you personally, all the officers like you, and the police department as a whole, for making such adjustments, sacrifices in your daily personal and family lives, and also risking your lives in many situations just to keep us safe, secured, and peaceful. So thank you once again. And if I may request you, please, Officer Gaurisha Sardana, to go ahead with your presentation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shivdas ji, for all your kind words. And of course, thank you to you and the entire team of Suches for giving me this platform to share my knowledge, my experience with you all today. And of course, thank you to all the attendees for giving me your time and showing interest in attending the session. Thank you. So first of all, I would like to say something that I always say at the start of a day, at the start of a session, a meeting, anything, actually everything. It's a beautiful day. I say that whether the day is sunny or rainy or snowy or sticky or whatever it is, doesn't matter. I say that because in my mind, I am starting the day on a positive note by assuring myself that it's a beautiful day. And especially today when we are doing a session on safety for seniors, when we talk about safety, we will also talk about risks for safety. So therefore, some parts of this discussion, this presentation could create a little bit of tension or worry for some of you. Therefore, it's all the more important that we start on a positive note so that everybody is able to focus on the tips for safety and not allow the risks to worry them, to bother them. So on that positive note, let's begin the discussion. Okay, so yes, statistics show that I don't know why this is not working. 1 second. Okay, I have to click. Oops. Do I have
By pressing enter.
Okay, now it did. Okay, so statistics show that most seniors prefer to stay in their own home. As we talked about Sushila ji in the beginning of our session, and like her, there are so many seniors. I talked to many other friends and their parents, their in-laws and stuff. And also the statistics clearly show that most seniors prefer to stay in their own home rather than moving out with the children who've settled in a different city because of work or whatever the case may be. Why? Because this is something that we should all understand, all the future generations and current generations, we should understand why they do that, why they prefer that. And that is because they value their independence and their dignity. They don't want to be dependent on their children or the next generation for small little things. They want to keep their independence and their dignity. And with that also there is a factor of familiarity. They are familiar with their house, where what is kept, even their grocery store, everything. That familiarity helps a lot. That gives, a sense of protection and safety. And other than that, yes, mostly people do have sentimental attachment to their home that they've spent all the years with, where their children were born, where the children used to run and play. So they have that sentimental attachment, which we should all understand and respect. As a result of all these reasons, 1/3 of the seniors live alone. Now, when they live alone, definitely it is important to think of small little things, like whether it's changing a bulb or getting groceries or making sure that the doors are locked before they go to sleep. Small little things all can add up, or even a small thing can flare up to be a big thing. So we have to have more of discussions like this, like today, to make sure that they're safe. On that note, let's discuss some of the things that we should be taking care of. First and most important thing, which I would say to all the seniors, and I say that to my own parents as well, know your limits, as in know how much workload you can handle. Yes, some years ago, decade ago, you used to handle multiple things at the same time. You were cooking, also cleaning and doing things around the clock. But understand your body now, that now your body gets tired. So, and maybe some people develop medical issues as well. So know your limits. Don't, you have to slow down. You don't have to continue with the same pace as you used to a few years ago. In between work, take frequent breaks. Whether it's just sitting down to watch something on the TV, or just sitting down to have a sip of water or a cup of tea, or making a phone call, anything, or just lying down, relaxing, taking an afternoon nap, anything at all. Take frequent breaks in between so that the workload doesn't, hurt you physically and mentally also. Some people can get tired that, I keep working the whole day. I have no entertainment or anything. Now, this one is very important. If you have to change the light bulb or get something from the top kitchen cabinet, please use a step ladder, not a chair, not a stool, because chair is for sitting, not for climbing on. This is very important because I have to remind my parents, my mother-in-law also, who they are always in a hurry. No, I'll quickly get it, no problem. But then a chair can topple and you can fall and hurt yourself. There can be injuries. So please use a step ladder. It's safer, and not a chair. And then if there are things, which need somebody else, a younger person or a professional to do, either hire help or call a younger friend or somebody in the family to do that for you, whether it's cleaning the roof with the leaves of autumn or anything at all, anything which needs more of physical labor. Don't take it on yourself saying that I'll do it, I'm independent. Again, going back to that know your limits. Therefore, ask for help. It does take a lot of, I would say, sometimes, again, you have to tell yourself, remind yourself that I will have to ask for help. So you're not being small in asking for help. You are taking care of yourself. You're giving importance to yourself. Therefore, ask for help when needed. Sometimes I have seen that with age, some people get forgetful. They would forget to turn off this gas stove or stuff like that, right? So as far as possible, get things that, are auto shut off, like a kettle, auto shut off kettle, or small little things that technology has come and made things easy for us, like a talking medicine dispenser, because sometimes you would forget to take a pill. Like yesterday, my mother-in-law forgot to take her blood pressure medication in the morning, and by afternoon, she was dizzy. By evening, she was very, very sick and tired. So these things, talking medicine dispenser, you can Google that. There are various different brands available in Shoppers Drug Mart and elsewhere in different pharmacies. What they do is basically they will remind you, this is the 12 p.m. Medicine. This is the afternoon medicine. You would, or, things like that, so that you would remember that voice is telling you that this medicine you've already taken or you have not taken and you have to take it, stuff like that. Again, there is talking of technology, there's something called an elder safety bracelet, especially for seniors while they sleep, or even when they're sitting with not a very support kind of chair, or they're even walking. That safety bracelet is simply a bracelet on your wrist. It simply alerts the company when you fall. So for people living alone, when they have this bracelet and they fall, they trip or fall, yes, that monitoring company will get a notification that you've fallen and help will arrive. This is something very, very useful. Again, you can Google to see various brands that are available. They have different price, options and stuff like that. Some more tips on this safety inside the home. Now, wherever possible, these days you can even call the city municipal office to get slopes where there are stairs. With that beside the stairs there would be slope to get into the house, or stuff like that, or in the washroom, changing the toilet seat or broadening the door so that a wheelchair can go in. So wherever possible, get those changes well in time so that there is wheelchair accessibility in home, again, to maintain safety, to safeguard yourself from trips and falls. Lighting is a very important one, especially, I would say, sometimes in the middle of the night, you feel a little hungry or you want to have a cup of tea, you are not able to sleep. Sleep is a big problem. My mom also keeps telling me that I was not able to sleep all night. I was twisting and turning in the bed, and I started watching TV, stuff like that. So at that time, when there is dark, some motion sensor lights, especially, when you get out of bed, you don't want to turn on the lights so that your husband is sleeping, he doesn't wake up, stuff like that. And, floor lights, motion censored. They will be very, very useful. Again, outside the house as well, make sure there is enough lights that if you hear something or if you want to check, then from inside, before opening the door, you turn on the light and you're able to see every corner to maintain safety, so that if somebody is hiding behind a pillar or whatever, there is enough light that he would feel that, now he has to run away, he'll be caught, stuff like that. So lighting is a big one. Now, stairs, definitely, I would say there is that stair lift option if you have stairs, or well in time if you decide to move into one level apartment, bungalow, or one level rental accommodation, anything at all. Or if you want to stay in your own home, and it has stairs, bedrooms upstairs or whatever, then yes, a stair lift. Now there are some companies that provide elevators at home also, just to maintain safety. Otherwise, if you are taking stairs, make sure that the steps are not too not slippery, not too wide, not too tall, and the railing is strong, and you hold the railing while going up or down, and go slow. Furniture, make sure it's sturdy, that you sit and you don't fall, that kind of thing. And of course, handrails, especially in the washroom, in the shower area where floor could be wet, even outside the shower area, floor could be wet. Make sure there are handrails. So and of course, I will also have the shower stool in the next point. These are important things, because when you go for shower, at that time, there is soap, there's slippery, there's water. Then to ensure safety, handrails are important. And of course, the shower stool. These are important things to maintain safety. Make sure there is a first aid kit and whatever specific things you need, like an EpiPen or a puffer, in at least both the floors, if you have different floors, or at least in every room in your purse, which is anywhere where you think it would be easy access. Because if in terms of times of emergency, and you don't want to wait for someone to come for your help, it should be readily available. You take the puffer or EpiPen and you're good. That kind of thing. A first aid kit and whatever medically needed, keep it in easy access. And of course, yes, emergency contact numbers on your phone, if you can keep them on speed dial or write them down and post them on the fridge, whatever helps. Different strategies as reminders, definitely do that. Smoke detectors are a big one. Make sure you ask somebody, like a younger family or someone, to a younger person in the family, to frequently come and check the smoke detectors for you, so that you may make sure that they are in perfect working condition. And if there is any smoke, or you forget to turn off the stove and go to sleep and there's smoke, then the detectors are the ones that will help you, save you, and avoid a fire. Put reminders on your phone to check all the doors before you go to bed, check the stove knobs, or all these kind of safety things. Check them to make sure that you don't forget to check them before you go to sleep. Put reminders on your phone, or a sticky note here and there, whatever, maybe a big sticky note on the door itself, so that before you go to your bedroom, you will see the note and it will remind you that you have to check the lock. So these kind of small little tips for your safety at home. Now we will talk about some of the crimes against seniors. First of all, yes, it really breaks my heart when I read a file and get to know that the victim was senior, or even when the victim is a child. It's the same thing. Someone for whom it's not very easy to defend themselves. It feels bad for me as an officer, or even anyone, to know that in the new CP24 or whatever, when you see that the victim was vulnerable, the victim was helpless, or it was not easy for the victim to defend themselves or fight back. So it feels really bad. But the bitter truth is that these things do happen. But it is always said that, prevention is better than cure. So there are certain things that we can do to safeguard ourselves. So what I'll do is, in this section of the presentation, I will discuss different kinds of crimes against seniors, and side by side for each, we will discuss various ways you can safeguard yourself. The first one being fraud. And this is something I would say why seniors are an easy target is that seniors tend to easily trust people. Someone can easily sweet talk them and, confuse them or sweet talk them. It's very easy for, especially for these very skilled offenders, criminals. They find seniors as an easy target because they know that I can sweet talk them or I can confuse them. They're not comfortable with technology. Mostly this is what they feel. That's why, although now I see that so many seniors learn how to use technology and get comfortable with it. And why I keep talking about technology, we'll see that cybercrime is a big one. But as far as fraud is concerned, that is also coming through. It could come through your an email or a phone text message, a phone call, anything like that. So getting comfortable with technology will make sure that you know what to click, what not to click, that kind of thing. Right. And but then, yes, fraud could come, as I said, could come in the form of a text message, a phone call, or an email. Now, when I talk about text messages, what happens is that these criminals pull out a database actually from the various phone companies. Now, when they pull out the data, they have all the list of hundreds and hundreds of phone numbers. They don't know which ones are active, which ones are not. So they send a mass text message. It will be sent to hundreds of those numbers. Now, say, for example, you receive a text message from an unknown number, and it says, I will be late from work. Please pick up Jason from school. That's it. Now you get worried. Oh my God, there's some kid called Jason whose mom or father or whoever it is, one of the parent is not going to pick him up. And this message is for the other parent. So you feel, worried for the safety of that child. And you reply immediately that, oh, I think you've sent the message to the wrong number or whatever. Now as soon as those criminals sitting there get response, they know this is a valid phone number. And now they'll start to manipulate you through further messages. Oh, thank you so much. So nice of you to tell me that. Then half an hour later, oh, you really helped me, saved my life. Otherwise, I would have forgotten to message again. Accidentally, I typed the wrong digit, stuff like that. Now they have an opportunity to start a conversation with you, right? Or maybe it could come in the form of a phone call. Now, text message, you understand, first of all, any number that you don't know, no matter how sensitive that message looks like, you've got to take care, or you've got to keep yourself safe. That sender will be able to maybe check later that, it has sent messages to see that, okay, the name doesn't appear, it's just a number. Oh, I've accidentally sent, if it is a genuine person. But if it is that person sitting in a dark room waiting for your response, please do not respond to the text message like this. Or there are other text messages also, which are very common. They would be from CRA or CVSA or, maybe Costco, or so from companies like this, like Costco, Home Depot, or furniture places like Brick or whatever. They will say, oh, click on the following link. You've got coupon, 50% discount, bring the photocopy or get the picture of the discount coupon with you, and so that we honor it, whatever. And that attracts you to say that, oh, let me click on the link and see. And the moment you click on the link, your phone is hacked. And then if that phone has your email connected, your net banking connected, or your text messages, everything, now that person sitting in that dark room can view all of that and misuse all of that. So make sure that you do not click on any link, whether that text message or email tells you that you've got a discount coupon, or sometimes they would say, click on the following link for GoFundMe and we are collecting donations, and it'll have a very sad story with a very sad pictures on it. No, you're not clicking on any link. You're not helping some unknown person at the cost of your safety. Right? If they are genuine people, then yes, you know, people that you can help them. Remember, you cannot solve all the problems of the world. You can only solve some, and that's enough help for the world from your side. That's enough contribution from your side. So you're not helping, you know how we say that you're not lighting your neighbor's house by burning your own. So remember that. So you're not clicking on any link, please. Now, also the text message or email could say, you won a lottery, you won a prize, what do you say? A lucky draw or something. Click on the link or reply yes, stuff like that. No. Just remember, if you've actually filled up a form, you can directly call that store and say that, oh, I want to check the status of my lucky draw, my draw or whatever. But do not click on the link. Do not reply yes or whatever to the text message to keep yourself safe. Talking about phone calls. Sometimes what they'll do is they will pretend to be like a friend of your grandchild and say that, oh, your grandchild, as in, they will even use the name, because sometimes it's very easy to get information by, observing you in, going out or keeping an eye on this house that they know a senior lives here alone. So they will keep an eye, and somehow, slowly, gradually, they have their ways to find out, okay, this is the name I can use to manipulate the senior. So they would maybe make up a story saying that, and this story, one story is very true that I'm sharing with you, that of course I will not use any names, but this offender called up, used to regularly call up seniors to say that I am your grandson's friend, and we went out for a holiday, a vacation, and we're stuck. We've lost our passports, and we had little money, just some coins left, and that's why I'm calling you. And it will obviously not give you any number on the screen. It will say unknown or whatever, or a random number. And they will say that I'm using a payphone or whatever, and I need help. And could you please e-transfer some money so that we can get out? And even if you say that, okay, let me directly talk to my grandson, they will say, oh, he's too scared, he's crying, and he's scared that his parents will yell at him, and please don't tell his parents, he's really scared. Once everything is fine, we will come and apologize to you and stuff like that, and will trap you in, and you will think that you are helping your grandson and his friend, and you will e-transfer. So this is something very, very common. Again, I would say, first of all, yes, do not make payments, no clicking on email, on any link, no replying to text messages, whether it simply says type Y for yes, N for no. Even if you feel that, no, I want to say no, do not text, just ignore. Remember, always visualize that person, that criminal sitting in the dark room is waiting for your response. So don't make him win. Don't let him win by responding, actually. Sometimes also, there could be a text message, for example, or again, an email saying that there's a virus on your computer. Click this or call on this number or something like that. Usually there will be a link to say that, yeah, click this, and then you can buy the antivirus on a low price, or it's free for the first 6 months or something like that. And you would think that it's a good deal and you will click on it. So be very, very careful that, do not click on such things. Sometimes also there are, as I mentioned, calls or text message or email from immigration office saying that, your immigration papers are incomplete, or or a text message from, in fact, I received a text message a few months ago, and it was from the CBSA saying that there was a parcel that was coming, that was coming from abroad for me, in my name, and it had illegal stuff, which because of which I need to click on the link and fill up a form or whatever, fill up a form and give details and stuff. Otherwise, I will be just arrested. So clearly, I knew this was bogus. CRA, CBSA, all these people will never send you text messages, will never scare you with any phone calls or something. They always just send you letters, and those letters have the logo, have the full name, have the, it's a proper legal document. They always send letters. They don't send text messages. So these are all bogus communications. Do not make them win. Of course, during COVID days, there was a lot of fraud in the name of COVID. There were, again, communications saying that your vaccine is due, or click on this link to create a free vaccine passport, or promising you some cures, miracle cures kind of thing. Click this, call this, respond to this message, or anyway. Or when there was a time when there was a long waiting list for testing, click on this link to get priority in the texting, to fix up your appointment or stuff like that, or get their deals on cleaning or agents, or sanitizers and stuff like that to attract people. Or simply saying that click on the link to confirm your appointment for the vaccine. A message or an email could say that. Or simply that click on this link to receive your SERB payment. You remember SERB was being offered by the government at that time. So there were lots of frauds on that. And people thought that it was genuine. Again, these things would not ask you to click on a link. You have to fill up the form on their site itself, and that's when you get the payments. But anyways, COVID days are, thankfully, these things are gone, so that's not an issue anymore. But then, yes, grandparent scam recently was very popular and at a height in Hamilton. So the similar kind of calls that I gave you the example for. So please be careful on that. Sometimes there are also those good faith donation calls, or text message or email, as I said. So these things can make you feel worried for the person, the patient, but please, again, you have to safeguard yourself, so don't get lured by that. Again, fraud could also walk to your home in the form of a door-to-door sale. So again, they could sometimes confuse you, giving you a lot of technical jargons that I'm here to check the water purity or to check your furnace and stuff like that. So door-to-door sales say no, because your furnace has a big sticker which has the customer service number written on that. So if there are any issues, you can call them. No need to get lured by these door-to-door salespeople. Maybe some of them are actually true salespeople, but some of them may not be. Maybe the offenders, trying to trap you, trying to get that first payment for the transition of the furnace, or the charge you a fee for testing the water, or give you all the fake paperwork to put a water cleaning system, water purifying system installed, although, and they say that, okay, I'm booking an appointment for the next week, make a payment, give me a check or a first payment, and this is the system, next payments will be smaller, whatever. And, their target is to get that money and go. So there could be some actual sales, but some not the wrong ones. So if you have issues, you directly call the company. Don't, unless you have somebody that you can double check the information, say that, okay, give me your pamphlets and then I'll call you back, right? I will read through this. I will discuss it with my family and then see what I want to decide. I don't want to make any payment right now. I don't want to give you any information right now. Give me your pamphlets. I'll reach out to you. Safe. Then whether they are correct salespeople or wrong ones, you are safe, right? So little tips on that. theft. Theft is something very, very straightforward. Now, theft, we usually think that, okay, theft of money, theft of item, but theft of money and item is still there, definitely, but the bigger concern is identity theft. Recently, it was in the news that there was a woman arrested who was, again, stealing identities to work at a long-term care home. Although in that case, she just, stole somebody's identity to work there. Maybe her own identity had a criminal background and whatnot, because of which she was not able to get a job using her own identity. She stole somebody else's identity. But imagine if the person who steals your identity uses it for the wrong purpose, and the most common purpose for them to do identity theft is to get a new bank account, a new credit card, a new loan in your name. And when they steal identity, of course, the bank will just ask for papers. And most of these identity proofs don't have pictures. Health card has a picture, but health card is not considered as an identity proof. Identity proof is usually your, your, of course, passport has a picture. PR card used to be there in old times. But once they have your date of birth, your address, your name, and SIN number and stuff, it is easy to replace the picture on the thing. They are all skilled with that. They do that. They just have to replace the picture as long as the SIN number, address, date of birth, all these are correct. Because when the bank runs the credit check, credit check doesn't show the picture. So they will believe that if the picture shows on the passport as their picture, not yours, but all the details that show on the computer match with the details on the physical identity that they are proof that they're looking at, they are happy. They're good. They will give the loan. They will even, a huge loan or a credit card, and they'll withdraw all the money. And you will know when the whole thing comes at the peak, when collections start to call you to collect those debts. When you start getting calls or letters for debt collection, which could be 6 months down the line, that's when you get to know that, oh my God, 6 months ago, all that happened. So as far as identity theft is concerned, you have to be very careful on certain things. For example, the most important being your mail. So first of all, when people say that, like for years and years, we've been asking for paper statement. Be careful that you go get all your mail and bring it. If you drop something, if it's a casual letter, pamphlet, that's different. But if it's a, bank statement, credit card statement, which has your name, address, or even last 4 digits of your card, these can be proofs when the criminal can call the customer service and how this is my address. He will pass the security questions. What are the last 4 digits of your credit card? This. So he will pass those security questions if he steals your bank statement and uses the information on it. So as far as your mail post is concerned, you take out the mail from the mailbox and bring it. Make sure you don't drop anything. You bring it home. Or if you're comfortable with e-receipts, e-statements coming on your email, great. Or if you're comfortable that you will every now and then use your own laptop to go on their website and do net banking, look at your statements, great. That's perfectly fine. So, but if you're actually taking paper statements, then make sure that they don't go missing. Even if for 1 month you think that, oh my God, I did not receive the this quarter's bank statement or, in my mail, I checked it, then call them and find out. Maybe they sent it, you didn't receive it, so it got misplaced from in between, somehow. So all these things. Of course, whether it's a phone call, text message, email, do not give personal information. Sometimes, these fake calls will try to set your account on something, whether it's a Sick Kids Foundation or any kind of donation where they have to set up a direct debit. Tell them that I will call your customer service and arrange all of that. Make sure when you receive call, you don't know who is calling you, right? But when you call, you're calling on the number on their website, which is legit, that kind of thing. So when you call, you know you're talking to the right person. But when they call, you don't know whether it's the right person or the wrong person, right? Somebody who's pretending to be that, but it's not. So make sure you take, remember all of that. Another reason that there is so much, going back to fraud, another reason that there is so much fraud against crime is that seniors, is that we know that seniors get their pension checks, or the senior allowance checks, which is a very easy, which makes seniors a very easy target, or a potential good target for criminals, because they think that, okay, all I have to do is to, do identity theft and then call them to get the address changed. And now I get the check at my address, stuff like that. Or I just have to make sure that, if it's a check, if it's a direct deposit, again, identity theft they will have to combine identity theft and fraud in order to get all your checks. Again, make sure you keep, whether you directly call the bank or you do net banking, the idea is to frequently keep checking whether they've sent the statement, whether they've sent the amount, sent you the amount. If no, quickly call and ask what happened and stuff like that. And if anybody has done any changes in the past, if any changes have been made to your account recently or whatever, you would know. If you didn't make those changes, then yeah, tell them to fix everything, or maybe, highlight some kind of, they can highlight the account such that, or put a password on the account, so that they would always know that when they call, they will ask for a password to make sure that it is only you and nobody else pretending to be you on the call. Again, physically, somebody comes to your house for theft, then of course, to safeguard yourself, your home from theft, you can install a alarm system. Again, alarm system has a PIN, 4-digit PIN. Make sure you don't share that PIN with anyone. If you're, of course, with age, if you think that you get forgetful, keep memorizing it. Do not leave it on the fridge. Sometimes if the sticky note is on the fridge and there's a window overlooking the kitchen, then, it's again, it's, or somebody just comes, a neighbor comes to say hi, can see that sticky note. But, if you think there's a safe place, like keep that sticky note in your book, in the prayer book that you read every day. So anytime you forget the PIN, you know where to find it. And it's not easy for somebody else to know that, that's the prayer book, that's where he keeps that sticky note. Or if you are comfortable saving it, but I would say not to save it on the phone, because phones can get hacked. But if you are taking care on those lines, also not clicking on any phone, or not clicking on any link and text messages, then yes, you can save it on your phone. Going back to the phone calls, I just thought that I'll share that with you. When somebody calls you and it's a bogus call, you don't know that person, and whatever they're talking about is, doesn't make sense. Make sure you quickly end the call, because the moment it crosses 45 seconds, the phone is hacked. So if it's a bogus call, close the call, finish the call in a few seconds, because they will try to speak slowly, or maybe speak too fast so that you ask them to repeat, and they're buying time to cross that 45 seconds. So make sure you close the call before that. Yeah, that's pretty much about the theft. Homicide is a sad one, clearly, but then yes, for homicide, I would say, apart from the alarm system, also sometimes, like, many seniors like to sit out in the sun, not in winter, but otherwise. Make sure you look at people crossing by, and sometimes, if you see a unknown car that's parked on your street for no reason, then question mark, what's the reason? And if somebody is sitting in that car, what is he doing? Who is he observing? Because these people somehow will be, will pretend to be just very genuine or casual, but they're keeping an eye. They're keeping an eye to filter and shortlist easy, vulnerable potential targets, right? Or even if you say go out to buy groceries, make sure you go, on a busy street, daytime, come back. If you can take somebody with you, like a friend or somebody else, you're not alone, that's good. That's helpful. Maybe if you're comfortable driving, that's different, but if you're not, then take an Uber or something, again, before it gets dark. But if you're walking, say, for example, grocery store or a pharmacy or whatever is at a walking distance, and you think that it's a nice day, it's sunny outside, I'll just walk. Again, make sure you don't take a deserted street. You take a busy street. You go out at a busy hour, right? And if it is a deserted street, then even if you have to walk 2-3 minutes extra, but take another street to reach home, a busier street, great, do that. Make sure if you hear footsteps, you pay attention to these things and not be on your phone while you're walking. Make sure, because it's good to watch your step also if you're walking, and not be on the phone, not be distracted. Also be careful, be vigilant to see if you can hear footsteps coming near you, then might as well just slow down or stop or turn and check. But it's always best not to take a deserted street. Again, routine. If always you go on a Monday afternoon to buy grocery, don't do that. Don't be so easy for them to predict you. Don't be so predictable for them. Don't be so easy for them to read you. Like if you take always the same GO train at the same time on the same day of the week, don't do that. They know what to expect. So keep changing your routine here and there so that you're not easy for them to read. Other than that, yes, again, the home safety, like the alarm system and stuff, and not to, sometimes seniors especially have the tendency to trust people by their face value or by their, demeanor. Always at the back of your head, think that I'm going to take time to let that person into my house. If I see him at the library every now and then, let it stay, let that acquaintance just be at the library. I'm not inviting him for tea at home. I don't want him to get my address, or, stuff like that. So don't trust people so easily. Take time for that. And bringing somebody home if you're alone, no, that's not a good idea. Unless you have your family over or somebody else over. Property dispute, that's a sad one. That's why I say sad, because it involves usually family. So make sure well in time you have a will ready, a will made, clear-cut will made. And because that, and of course you share that will with your family, so that if anyone has any issues on any part of the will, there's an open discussion. They can address that issue. You can address that issue with them. But property disputes usually happen when there is lack of clarity. So a legal will, at least safeguard you from that lack of clarity, will provide clarity, and therefore there is less of animosity and more of, peace of mind for you as well as the family that you're passing on stuff to. Making a will doesn't mean that you're ready to say bye. No, making a will simply means peace of mind. So that, and avoiding many problems, future problems. Domestic abuse, that I would say is the most complex one. And why I say complex, because it is not very easy to understand what is abuse. most of the times when we say domestic abuse, what comes to our mind is that a drunken man is beating his wife. But that's only one form of abuse. There are so many different forms of abuse. So it is very important for all of us actually. But why I especially discuss this for seniors is that, less of energy, medical issues, more of, heightened, amplified emotions, especially related to family members. So all these factors make you a weak target, an easy weak target. So for you, it's very important to understand what forms of abuse are, what different ways can I be abused, and then understanding that, oh, so whatever I have been, putting up with, whatever I've been accepting was abuse, so I need to speak up, that kind of thing. So talking about different types of abuse doesn't always mean physical abuse. It could be emotional abuse. And trust me, emotional abuse has the deepest scars, because physical abuse scars will still go away. And usually physical abuse doesn't, it's less of a percentage. Yes, it's there, that's the sad part, but it's less of a percentage. It's more of the emotional abuse. Emotional abuse in the form of, isolation, not interacting with you, not letting you interact with others, not, keeping you restricted, not giving you that independence. Or, if you want to do your, spiritual prayers or stuff like that, constantly always getting into a negative discussion and demeaning discussion of somehow, pulling down your faith, pulling down your ideas, pulling down your understanding of the world or economy or any topic. Right? So that's emotional abuse, always trying to, tell you, for example, like even if when we talk about technology, I myself am not a tech person. Like I would have to ask my son, oh, where do I click? Sorry, it's going too fast, slow it down, stuff like that. And imagine a senior person who has that hesitation to say that, oh, I'm not very tech savvy. Then, if youngsters laugh at it or make fun of it, that, oh, you don't even know what this means, you don't know how it is said, your English is like that, or what you have an accent, I can't understand. All these little things are emotional abuse. Yes, they're small things, but they need to be addressed right at that time, because they keep piling up, and that buildup of emotion is bad, because that leads to depression and further problems, like, it affects your self-esteem. So identify that emotional abuse. That is important. It could even come as, apart from just harassment, as I said, it could even come as threats that, any kind of threats, like, I will not let you go meet those friends. They mess up your mind. They teach you wrong things, and you started arguing. Just sit and pray all the time, or comments like that, threatening statements like that, or simple verbal abuse. These things, if not stopped, in the beginning, they can pile up and get more, because for that younger person, whether it's your, younger person in the family or whoever, or a young neighbor or whoever, usually it's family. If they get, if that hesitation is gone, the first time they say that or do things like that, or, isolate you, or, demean you, insult you or anything, and they are not stopped, then that hesitation is gone. Next time they'll do it easily. They'll start doing it more frequently. So even financial abuse, like, of course, getting, targeting your pension checks, or, not giving you, not allowing you to spend your money your way. Like, you don't need, saying that you don't need a credit check, a credit card. You may use it at the wrong place. You don't know how people are. They might snatch your purse and go and just give you a pocket money. So that is, affecting, that's like, you know, a stab on your self-esteem, a stab on your independence. So financial abuse hurts a lot. So make sure that, you know, as far as possible, try to keep control on these things in your hands, with yourself, that yes, I will learn to be comfortable with technology. If I physically cannot go out all the time for groceries or whatever, I'll call, make a, you know, I'll call some, there are, you know, even with the government, there are options that you can make, place an order either on computer or even call, and someone can drop off that grocery for you. Um, that is arranged through social workers. But then, yeah, setting that up, or you know, placing an order on the online on the websites, or Costco, for example, ordering in bulk and then, you know, keeping, or even I would say your own, keeping regular checks on your own net banking. So keeping the control in your hands, not letting others start to control you. There could be neglect. That's another form of emotional abuse. You know, neglect, again, there are different ways one can notice that, yes, there is neglect for, even if it's not yourself, for you, maybe it could be for with a friend, that say, for example, you go to the park every summer evening or afternoon, to the park for a walk, and you're, you know, there's another senior that you meet every time, and you guys chit chat and walk, and now you've started noticing that, you know, she doesn't comb her hair or cut her nails, or she's, you know, not clean and presentable. So somehow, yes, she doesn't have the energy, but more of it, maybe it's a sign of abuse, right? A sign of neglect, right? That, or a sign of depression, that is now showing up on her looks, that she is not taking care of herself because she is too much depressed, right? That kind of thing. So if these things are thankfully not happening to you, but then knowing these forms of abuse or these kind of things is good, that knowing, having this knowledge is good, because then you can notice other people from going through. If that person, you know, most of the times victims don't gather the courage to speak up, to ask for help. But as a friend, if you notice somebody else going through that, then you can maybe, you know, try to get more information by talking to them alone, not in front of other people, that, you know, I think something is wrong. Do you want to share something? Maybe I can help. Maybe, you know, this is the number to dial. After that, I will give you some phone numbers to copy down. So if you have the knowledge, you will be able to notice these things and maybe help somebody else, or share the knowledge and give them that confidence that, yes, when, you know, when you understand that what's happening is wrong, then you speak up, whether it's by just calling the numbers that I will give you for senior safety and wellness, calling that number for your area. For each area, there's a different number. Calling, or just, you know, addressing it to, you know, a trusted family member, a trusted friend, right? So these things can help. If you have the knowledge, you can either help yourself or help someone else. Cybercrime, which is not so new now. For the past maybe close to a decade, this has been constantly increasing. Again, why? Because these offenders know that mostly seniors are not tech savvy. Mostly seniors are easy to gain trust from, so they are easy targets. And this cybercrime, and also they know that, you know, a fairly big percentage of seniors must be alone, so they need a companion, right? So that's why they target seniors through social media, dating sites, or just pop-ups on the computer. On when you, if you're just surfing the internet for something else, say for example, you know, just watching maybe CP24 news or something on your computer, on the laptop, there are ads on the side. So suddenly a pop-up would come and accidentally you can click on it, or pop up again for, telling you a sad story for donation or anything like that to gain your attention. So accidentally you can click on that. But more than that, they could come, as a person to become friends with you. That could happen. Yes, sometimes some people think that, okay, I can have a companion. Let's, go on a dating site just for casual chit chatting or whatever. That can be dangerous. Or sometimes not even dating sites, because dating sites is a very, very small percentage as far as seniors are concerned. But the major percentage of cybercrime comes from social media. Because again, as seniors, you would be excited to put lots of picture with your grandchildren, or picture of, uh, holidays or vacation, or, stuff like that. So they watch you, of course. And then, through social media, by just complimenting on your picture, or, they just need one little idea and one little way of starting a conversation. And then, of course, they sweet talk you and try to manipulate you and win your trust. And, by becoming your friend, and then getting more information out, and you don't even realize, because you trust them, right? So be very cautious on that. It is more advisable to join institutions like this, like such as, and other institutions where you, although these are all Zoom sessions, there could be some physical gatherings also, but the idea is that these are legit, and these are like-minded people. You discuss good topics, you gain knowledge, you help out each other, you stay happy, you stay busy. So in order to stay less on social media and be less of an easy target on social media, it is good to find other healthier ways to be mentally and physically busy, so that, you are in the company of positive, like-minded, clean people, and you don't open yourself to the wrong people too often. So social media, just be very, very cautious of. Again, I would say maybe ask a younger family member or a friend to make you comfortable, so that you know what you're clicking. I don't say that don't be on social media, be there, but know how to keep yourself safe, what to share, what not to share. Like if you're on holiday, do not, share your location. That's something that I even advise to the younger generation. Like I do lots of sessions with younger people, especially young girls, for their safety. And that's what I tell them. Do not, please, this is a good thing, especially with Facebook. This was to share your location, but don't do that. You're telling those people that I'm away from home, the home is empty, go steal whatever you want to, rob. So don't share location. And even when you're sharing pictures, filter and double check, okay, this picture is fine, I can post that. Even when you're putting, sometimes we just say something or message, not message, but sometimes you just upload a thought on social media. Just be very, very cautious. It's not too emotional, because again, you are opening up to the wrong people as well, that I'm vulnerable, and I am desperate for a company, and then you're inviting wrong company that way. So be very, very cautious on that. Now, as promised, I will share all these phone numbers for different regions. These are phone numbers with, some of them have extensions too, for senior safety departments. So please take time to copy down these numbers, because whether it is to help yourself report any kind of abuse, report any kind of crime against you, use these numbers, or not just for yourself. If you notice somebody else who's going through some kind of abuse or something, and they don't gather the courage to speak up, then you can talk to the department of your area, dialing these numbers, and can say that this is what I have observed, but the so and so is not willing to speak up about it, especially, emotional abuse from family or financial abuse from family. People are not comfortable talking about it to police. But then if it's really, really affecting their physical health or mental health, it is important to be discussed. And it's not that the police will come and arrest your family. No, they will be, sent for mandatory counseling sessions so that, and of course, your information, your stuff will be, safeguarded. Your finances or your financial information and stuff like that would be safeguarded, and you will be given counseling as well, how to safeguard yourself. Maybe then they will also ask you or your, whoever the victim is, to see that if they prefer to live away from that family, your family, by having your own accommodation, then the government also has an option of seniors accommodation. Of course, there are certain criterias to be eligible for that, but then these are, if you have like criterias, like if you have low income and just a pension, for example, and you want to be on your own, then they are 1 bedroom apartments, but they are safer, they are good, not high rise, they're low rise, so that they are easy for you to sit outside and be mobile and stuff like that. So if that's the concern, there is a lot of help. So these department phone numbers are specifically for the department on these region police area, region police departments, especially for seniors, safety and wellness. Questions, concerns, comments? Or do you want me to go back to the phone numbers if you want to finish copying them? Yeah.
Shivdas?
We can give these numbers to our members later also, if they need be, if they can't write it down. And your presentation is over?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Gaurisha, to coming here and doing this session for us. Very informative, and we know a lot of things happen with us, and we know what to do and what not to do. But thank you for taking time and coming, and I would like to give it to Shivdas. You take it away, Shivdas.
Excuse me, I just have a question. Okay, when you're talking about safety bracelet, when they wear, and then if they have a fall at home, help will arrive. But how will help arrive when the doors are locked?
So again, when you register with these companies that give bracelet, when you register with them, of course, you give them details, but also they will take, if there is need, then that, yes, they will have to somehow, pick the lock and have to open it somehow. Or if there's a password, for example, the garage door, that pin. So they keep these things in mind and will ask you, okay, is there a garage door entry? How many points of entry and exit are there in the house, whether it's an apartment, or if it's a high-rise apartment, then yes, the maintenance has the key, right? Stuff like that. So when you set up an account with them, they will ask you these questions about entry and exit, and who else to contact, who else, like your son lives nearby and he keeps a second key or stuff like that. You will go through all these questions of ifs and buts at that time.
But if you're alone and nobody has a key and you have a physical lock, not a combination lock, then how will they'll break the lock?
They will have to, if there is, because of course, before breaking the lock, they will, try to, loudly call you to ask you, are you on the ground? Are you hurt? Would you be able to get up and open the door to us? But if they can't hear anything, then they have to break the lock. Because what if you fainted? What if you're not breathing anymore? You need a CPR and stuff like that. And they will report the paramedics, and everybody will then, of course, the police also comes with the paramedics. Okay. So because that has to be kept in mind, then what if the situation situation is really bad. But of course, before breaking the law, they will try to call you, get your attention to make sure they know what's happening. Are you on the ground? Are you, how do you feel? Is there a pain? Would you be able to get up? Whatever, whatever. How did you fall? Anything, stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I
Yes.
wanted to ask, a lot of time people lose their presence of mind as to how to react to all the information that has been given. It was excellent, but it is not always making seniors like us to be very alert about these things and respond to it in a proper manner. And I have been duped about 2-3 times at least. One is about the furnace, and another time it was a big vacuum cleaner, things like that.
Yeah.
And it is very hard to understand and react to that kind of a situation.
Right.
And you let them inside, and then you get into trouble for that.
Yeah. So first of all, yes, I do understand that, this is what I have shared is nothing new. We all see the news. We all know these things happen, but you're right. Why we do these sessions is to give yourself give each other a constant reminder that do this, don't do that. And with seniors, their strongest quality is that they go slow. Because when I share the same details, same safety tips with younger people, it is so difficult to tell them that don't react because they're impulsive. It is so difficult to tell them to don't quickly react, slow down, think twice, think about it, think it through, to slow down. It is difficult with them. But with seniors, the good thing is that you guys, are not impulsive. So that is why I would say that, even if you open the door and they've started telling you the story, before you sign anything, before you start to give them your, details, easiest thing, ask for pamphlets or any whatever information, pamphlets, booklets, whatever, and say that, okay, I will think about it. I will read all of that and then get back to you. Give me your card or contact number or anything and pamphlets. I'll get back to you. Before you sign, always tell them, no clicking on links, no replying to messages, no signing. And gain time to think about it, to read it, discuss it with somebody else, and then, because you don't want to sign things off to them, and then it's a lot that you can sign off.
Gaurisha, can you stop sharing your screen so we can see you?
We can
Sure.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would like to add one more thing, Gaurisha. Maybe
Yeah.
after a few months, to reinforce what you said, we can bring you back again, so that we seniors, we tend to forget and things like that. And that time, probably people have questions. We can address to you through Shivdas and send it to you, and we can discuss that in the group. Now that we have already over time, probably Shivdas, you go ahead.
There is a chat message. Somebody is asking, why didn't you mention using an iPhone with emergency contact and health info? I don't know whether only iPhone has it or any other phone you can program and keep it. Gaurisha, can you see the chat?
Yes, now I just opened it. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Again, I'm not sure if the other phones, Androids, have that option, but definitely, yes, 911 call is something which is on every phone. Even if you don't have network, even if you're in a basement apartment with no signals, less signals, 911 call will always connect. So even if you're not able to talk to them, you simply dial 911 and you're on the floor or whatever, or the phone is, you just reach out, somehow grab the phone and dial 911. They will be able to find your location. And somehow, even if you just do make some sound like that, they will know that you need help.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very good point. Thank you so much. Who shared that?
Srini,
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
911 is good for even when a burglar is in the house. You call 911, you don't have to talk, just whisper, and the help is right there.
If there are no questions, I will request Shivdas to go ahead. Are there any more questions?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gaurisha. That was a wonderful presentation.
Please.
Now, I think most of us, we know some of the points, not all the points that you mentioned. That was very, very useful information. I think it was just the little time crunch. We couldn't go further. But I just want to let everybody know here that this presentation is being recorded and it will be on YouTube. So if you visit our Sachets Group website, which is www.sachets.ca,